Because I was music director at UCC, I learned that pastoring can happen through Cheetos, text, long distance running, and practical jokery. I wonder more about how to connect with the individual within the big tent of welcome. I had fun teaching the staff the intricacies of the slow clap. I am thankful for the ways in which the church supported me as a member and not just a staff member. I will always picture the congregational pretzel during the benediction, each person reaching and twisting to ensure everyone had a hand to hold. And I commit to bringing the spirit of connection from Superfluity, CBEC, Women's Retreat, Girls' Retreat, and hundreds, over 400 meetings of choir into my daily life and out into the world.
Because Heidi was our music director, I learned that you can incorporate the didgeridoo into a worship piece so long as that piece is centered in the key of D. Because Heidi was our music director, I wonder more about what almond milk with cocoa powder and agave syrup really tastes like. Because Heidi was our music director, I had fun doing such a wide variety of musical styles and collaborations with instrumentalists and singers. Because Heidi was our music director, I am thankful for the ways that she was committed to ministering with us as well as making music with us. Because Heidi was our music director, I will always ensure that everyone has a place in the choir. Because Heidi was our music director, I commit to bridging the worlds of music and pastoral ministry. Heidi, it is my intense gratitude and the loss that we will feel as you move on. You have been a joy to work with and an inspiration. Hear these words from a few of your members of the choir.
For you, Heidi, invisible, always in full sanctuary or even virtual worship, you raise your hands and we quiet, breathing in. Entering church full of the cacophony of our lives, you lift both choir and congregation to a timeless plane. How do you manage to train their voices as one, blessing us at times with your own rolling soprano, elevating us into cathedral sound week after week for more than a decade, and while raising a family? You encourage us with bells and whistles and drums and all the instruments of the congregation and beyond. You help us risk our best and find our own voice, singing all the colors of the rose window back to us. When praise is over and celestial voice fades into sacred silence, we give thanks to you for blessing us with your invisible gift. Amen.
All God's creatures have a place in the choir. That song comes to mind when thinking about Heidi's leadership. The choir is made up of very gifted musicians and also those of us that just like to sing. Heidi made it possible for all of us to come together and enjoy the gift of making music together. With all of her extra effort creating sound files and having extended rehearsal time, she allowed all of us the opportunity to be able to express ourselves in music. With very little time to prepare to sing week after week, at times it can be scary not knowing if we were ready, especially when singing with other groups of musicians. Heidi stayed calm through it all, instilling in us a confidence we didn't know we had. We often looked at each other after service and said, "Well, we pulled it off, and it was good." Heidi brought a spirituality to the choir, recognizing that what we sang was a prayer, an integral part of the service, a part of the message. She brought out our spirituality, our connectedness, and made us better singers. As Amy says, the choir is a microcosm of the congregation. As such, we celebrated all of life's passages. Heidi extended herself beyond being a music director, visiting those in poor health, reaching out to those in need, and leading us through memorial services for choir members we lost over the years. And then COVID hit, and the world changed, and so did Heidi. She jumped in, adapted, and employed online avenues to allow us to keep singing, and so we shall. Ginny Hoagland Gray. I so appreciate that Heidi allowed me into the choir despite my lack of singing experience. And what an experience it has been under her leadership. We've probably sung in at least 10 different languages and at least as many genres. Sometimes the piece initially seems to me next to impossible, but Heidi steps us through it with patience and skill to where it always seems to come out fine, or at least close. She fosters a team spirit and spirituality that enhances and goes beyond the music. I will miss her as our director going forward, but am confident she is leaving us in good shape to carry on once this pandemic quiets down. Fred Heydrich.
It's hard to think of the church, and especially the choir, without Heidi. We welcomed Heidi into our midst 13 years ago, and she very quickly found her place in our church and in our hearts. She directed us in many much-loved traditional choral pieces, including some major works, but she also brought us so much new composers, new styles, music of other cultures, even some things that we found strange and difficult at first, but eventually grew to love. She brought many novel musical experiences to the whole church, including, but not limited to, Viriditas and Sacred Groove. She provided ample performance opportunities for others within the church, including many of our youth. The quality and diversity of musical experiences with Heidi was astonishing, and we wondered how she could accomplish so much while balancing the responsibilities of house and home. Somehow she did it. But for me, the outstanding feature of Heidi's time with us was her dedication to her ministry. She took her role as minister of music very seriously. Her love and concern for her choir members and for the broader church were evident from the beginning. She had the difficult task of caring for all too many beloved members of our aging choir, seeing them through illnesses and death and preparing musical tributes for numerous memorial services. It has been a joy to grow with Heidi in her time as our music director, and I look forward to watching as she finds new ways to contribute to the church and to the community. May love and peace go with you, Heidi, and be assured I will keep singing.
Because of Heidi, Sunday music programming not only supports but also enriches the theme of each service. Because of Heidi, a high level of musicality is fostered in the choir and in all the church's musical expressions. Because of Heidi, serious attention is paid to maintaining the lifelong vocal health of our singers. Because of Heidi, individuals in the music program are ministered to and are encouraged to minister to each other in trials of the Spirit and in times of joy. Because of Heidi, people of all ages, levels of musical experience, and with a variety of musical tastes are encouraged to participate in the musical life of the church. Because of Heidi, prayer is an integral part of weekly choir practice, and faith is explicitly nurtured and honored within the choir. Heidi, we will miss you and hold you close in our hearts. Aaron and Daniel Johnson. Because Heidi was our music director, I am thankful for the incredible range of ways, Heidi, you have designed, collaborated, coordinated, envisioned, and sung music that speaks to us in our sorrows and our joys, bringing us together in community, feeling God's grace and love among us. Jan Von Leahy.
Hi Heidi, well, it's your last Sunday, and we are all so sad to see you go. And I just wanted to say I have had the great pleasure of working with you on all sorts of different projects over the last who knows how many years. And one of the things I love most about UCCC has just been getting to play my music there, and that wouldn't have been possible without you. So just thank you so much for everything you've contributed.
Heidi, you are an inspiration. So many different ways your leadership impacted our community. One of those is how you included the kids, encouraging individuals. Oh my gosh, kids of all ages contributing music in worship and on retreats, at camp, etc. Encouraging individuals to grow as artists on their own musical journeys. And encouraging groups. You did a lot of special projects that included kids, and you were so supportive of us Sunday school teachers, and your programming for all ages. Not to mention the diverse styles and genres of music that you brought to UCC. Thanks to you, our congregation is more appreciative of world music. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 canta y no llores. That means sing and don't cry. Well, Heidi, we're going to keep singing, but we're going to miss you, and we're going to cry a little as we wish you well and say adios.
Because Heidi was our music director, I learned to be a better singer, more sensitive to the nuances of the text, more expressive in following the intentions of the director in conveying the emotional power of choral music, and to become a better listener in order to blend with fellow singers. Because Heidi was our music director, I wonder more about how the basses can so consistently take collective breaths at inappropriate times. Because Heidi was our music director, I had fun doing choir retreats where we could immerse ourselves in challenging music, especially in settings with great acoustics. Because Heidi was our music director, I'm thankful for Heidi's willingness to give individual lessons to spur us on to become more engaged and experienced singers. Because Heidi was our music director, I will always remember how Heidi made us feel part of a loved community, an important contributor to our greater mission of ministry to the church, and a member of a team creating beautiful, ephemeral experiences for ourselves and others. Because Heidi was our music director, I commit to continuing this musical ministry with the UC-UCC choir. Thanks, Heidi. We love you and we miss you. Craig Jackson. Because Heidi was our music director, I deeply enjoyed UC-UCC music programs. As a member sitting in the pew, I came to church or listened to our current online programming, knowing I'd be inspired by her musical selections, diverse and eclectic. I'd cheer for the expertly directed UC-UCC choir performances, and I'd greatly enjoy the guest musicians and soloists she's employed to raise our spirits. Because Heidi was our music director, our long-standing church standard of musical excellence was raised to new heights, unquestionably encouraging new folks to join our church ranks, and the tenured to stay connected, inspired by music in a way that spoken words cannot replicate. Because Heidi was our music director, I became involved with UC-UCC music activities for the first time after 30-plus years of membership. She has such a welcoming spirit and encouraged me to join drumming activities and simple choral singing events, which I greatly enjoyed. Heidi has the ability to sense the musical spirit that dwells within all of us, and through her quiet encouragement and total positivity leads us to overcome hesitancy and to share those gifts out loud and proud. Because Heidi was our music director, I was touched by her heartfelt expressions of support for choir members during times of joy and especially times of trouble. Her notes to the choir, shared with me by my choir member husband, Craig Jackson, inspired me with her depth of empathy, eloquence, Christian love, and soulful support. She clearly led her choir flock through many valleys of despair with admirable love and spirit. I will miss Heidi deeply from our church leadership. I wish her the very best in her life journey as she moves into new adventures with her family and in her field. All the best, Joyce F. Jackson, UC-UCC member since 1980. We are new members of UC-UCC primarily because worship here is so nurturing. We come from another faith tradition and have been in weekly worship services for 56 years of marriage. Worship here is so totally integrated. Everything fits together. The entire experience, music, art, scripture, sermon, lay participation, etc., all support the theme for that Sunday, which is also a part of a specific season of the church year. In our former denomination, the pastor always chose the hymns, so we surmised that the pastors were entirely responsible for the phenomenal focus of every worship service. After we joined the choir, it became more and more apparent that because Heidi was our music director, in collaboration with the pastors, all music for each service supported and enhanced the worship experience. She searched available music, arranged for soloists, contacted ensembles, and taught the choir new and exciting music in her determination that music be a significant vehicle of worship. Her many contacts in the Seattle music scene have brought a huge variety of talented musicians into our sanctuary, and none of this happens easily. Scheduling musicians, rehearsing with them, and making them feel appreciated are part of what Heidi does so well. We have been blessed by being able to catch a glimpse of her contributions to this congregation. A poem, Janet Acker. I am thankful for the invitation Heidi extended for writing a hymn to dedicate the restored organ. How gently she accompanied my creative process as we both gradually acknowledged that a poet is not necessarily a lyricist. I will always save the many drafts of the world's most labored hymn and think of Heidi's kindness in rejecting them. Here's a song for you. Roses are red, violets are blue. You play the organ, I'll play my kazoo. Okay, my hymn wasn't so bad after all. With affection, Mary Caller. Heidi, I appreciate you giving our hula group an opportunity to perform during Sunday worship service. It meant so much to be able to perform for my own church, and a thrill to introduce this dance form to our congregation. You have always been so open to welcome whole body expression and liturgical dancing to the worship service. My wanting to unite with this congregation was because of the wonderful choir. 10 years later, I am still rejoicing with that decision. I can hardly put into words how thankful I am for what Heidi has given me through this shared experience with the community of the choir and the congregation. In planning the music for each worship service, Heidi weaves together all of the musical aspects so that they intertwine with the spoken word to create something far greater than the individual pieces of music. And this is done so brilliantly that we come away with a sense of wonder and awe and surrounded by the Holy Spirit. I have watched this choir grow from year to year under Heidi's leadership. We take our warm-up exercises seriously, and the sound that results is amazing. We feel it deep in our core. We are proud of the music we share with each other and the congregation. No matter what Heidi may be dealing with on a personal level, she is there for us. We feel the love and care that she gives to each one of the members of the choir. She is genuine and sincere, and because of her giving, we also are there to give. Thank you, Heidi, for all you have given us. It is deep in my soul. How can I keep from singing?
Thank you from me and the other
Kathy
members
Gunstone.
of our recorder ensemble. We so appreciate all the ways that you have supported us since we started in 2012. And thank you for sharing your music, your knowledge, and your very self with all of us in this congregation. You have enriched our lives amazingly. You will be sorely missed. This is for you. It's called Breathe on Me, Breath of God. It was arranged by Kirk Kastner.
Dear Heidi, such a bittersweet time for us members of University Congregational United Church of Christ. We are having to say goodbye to you as our Director of Music, but we can celebrate how fortunate we have been to have had you sharing your gifts with us for the past 13 years. As a lifelong member of this church, I can unqualifiedly say that you are the best music director we have had in the past 70 years, and probably ever, but I haven't been around since the church was founded about 125 years ago. You have shared your combined gifts in a way that no other director of music has been able to do. You have brought to our church a diversity of music, combining the wonderful classical European and American music that we all love with music from other countries and other cultures to enrich our musical and worship experiences. Although I'm not in the choir, it is clear that you have nourished a warm community among the singers. You have brought to those of us in the congregation wonderful music that we could sing and enjoy and feel that it was truly a significant part of our worship experience. Also, we felt inspired by the music that the choir sang to the glory of God. You included young people and others in our congregation to share their gifts in our worship services. You wrote new lyrics and music to help us touch and move in our own spirituality. Most importantly, you have brought a very special spirituality in the music. Whether it was in the hymns that we sang, or the songs sung by the choirs, or instrumental pieces, it all tied in with the theme and spirit of the service. It was not just a performance to show off the musical skills and expertise, but it was to lead us all in the glory and praise to God, and to help us come closer to God. You worked as a significant team member of the worship leaders, and we could all feel it. These are just a few of the gifts for which I'm truly grateful. I well understand that you were juggling as a mother and a wife as well as a professional, and I can understand why you would need to step away for now. I sincerely wish you well in all of your future endeavors, and I say thank you so very much for all that you have given to us. Blessings to you and your family. Kathy Williams.
This is a little tribute to Heidi, choir director extraordinaire. We love Heidi, we love Heidi, yes we do. To the things she's taught us, we will always be true. When she blows out a candle, the light remains aglow. It's the love light in her eyes where'er she goes. Heidi, we love you. We thank you for everything. You will always be in our hearts and part of the choir and this church. Don't stay away too long.
Living in a swarm of dislocating changes, it's hard to give attention to any one of them, even one as personally important as your departing musical direction for our church, for Rose and me, chancel choir. Writing helps me focus, to sound the depths of feeling and thought, and to express a heartfelt message to you. So, a poem, Heidi. Alas, in change, a loss, though gain we know in faith will be received. Yet first, heart's hurt, mind's pain, had halted time a while in disbelief to grieve. Our seasons rang, none versed the same, save that your care sang sure refrain. And now love thanks for love you've been. Then on our scores new staves we'll pen, to sing you blessed all nights and days, as grace will through compose the ways. Dear Heidi.
13 years ago, we had the unenviable task of replacing an icon. Finding someone to take Bob Scander's place was a huge order. We were skeptical. How could anyone fill those shoes? Then a woman took her place at the conductor's music stand, and wow, we were in love. She was funny, competent, kind, intelligent, knew her music, and waved her hands in a way that we could all understand. It was decided that an interim position was not good enough. We wanted Heidi for our leader. And Heidi,
lead you did. We sang old anthems we loved. We did new and exciting pieces. We did music that we never could have imagined, drums and bells and dancing, and who could forget vocalizing through straws? 13 years and 2 kids later, you still manage to gift us with 2 anthems every Sunday, special music and concerts with our sister church in Bellevue. You gave of yourself, listened to my concerns when they arose, and really heard me. You changed as the years flew by to reflect the changing nature of the church, the choir, and your own family, all in a positive and caring way. Fast forward to today. We're now caught up in a pandemic that no one could have foreseen. No final rehearsals, no final concert, no final service with tears and a goodbye standing ovation. No goodbye party with hugs. It is hard. But Heidi, your indomitable spirit and drive have made the way that you are leaving as affirming as you're coming. Keep singing. Keep loving. And may God hold you in the palm of God's hand. God be with you till we meet again. By good counsel, guide uphold you. Loving me, secure and hold you. God be with you till we meet again.
Heidi, you have a magnificent voice. What you use not only to make music, but to lead and to celebrate and to console and to inspire. We will miss you. I will miss you. I'm sure this is not the last time we will make music together. And I'm also sure this is not the last time I will be proud to call you my friend. Goodbye, my friend.
Heidi, because you have ministered to us through music for more than 13 years, I have learned new songs. Because you've ministered to us, my sermon might include a song. Because you have ministered to us, my soul has found a deeper song, and you have helped my spirit soar. And because you have ministered to us in these ways, I commit to continuing to sing my song and to hear and celebrate and strengthen the songs of others. Thank you, dear colleague and friend. Music all around.
Thank you, Heidi.
Heidi, we don't know how to put into words how much we love you and how much your music and friendship has meant to us at UCUCC, but especially for me and Rosalind. We love you so much and we're going to miss you, but we're always going to sing together and we're always going to have music in our hearts.
Every time we sing, we're going to remember.
We love you. Thank you.
Heidi, we are so grateful that you were part of our UCUCC family. You showed such care for all musicians, which is every person in the congregation, and you helped so many people find a voice and a way into being part of the song. We commit to spreading what you taught us, finding ways to help everyone find their way in. Thank you for being a leader, a spiritual care provider, a cheerleader, and a friend. We would like to share with you a hymn that we frequently sing in Mennonite Church. Nothing is lost on the breath of God. Nothing is lost forever.
breath is love, and that love will remain, holding the world forever. No feather to light, no hair to fine, no flower to breathe in its glory. No drop in the ocean, no dust in the air, but is counted and told in God's story. Nothing is lost to the eyes of God. Nothing is lost forever. God sees with love, and that love will remain, holding the world forever. No journey too far, no distance too great, no valley of darkness too blinding, no creature too humble, no child too small, for God to be seeking and finding. Nothing is lost to the heart of God. Nothing is lost forever. God's heart is love, and that love will remain, holding the world forever. No impulse of love, no office of care, no moment of life in its fullness, no beginning too late, no ending too soon, but is gathered and known in its goodness.
Dear Heidi, we came to UCUCC because of your music program here, and it has been a musical experience we will never forget. As you know, the choir is like a family, and you have mothered us and nurtured us, and you have been a minister to us, listening to our joys and concerns and leading us in prayer about them. And you have ministered to our sick and terminally ill choir members in the hospital or at home with your presence and with your song. We have loved singing classical pieces with you, including Vivaldi's Gloria, Haydn's Te Deum, Fauré's Requiem, Mendelssohn's Elijah, Handel's Messiah, and Brahms' How Lovely is Thy Dwelling Place, and of course, Thomas Tallis. But we have also loved singing many wonderful contemporary works with you, like the powerful Street Requiem, Yellow's The Ground, Gilkison's Requiem, Many Faces, One Song, Malala, and so many, many more. And who can forget the beautiful Set Me as a Seal Upon Your Heart? We have also enjoyed singing spirituals with you, and of course have loved getting ovations for many of our more rousing pieces. On special holidays like Easter and Christmas, you have amazed us by coming up with terrific orchestras and brass ensembles from members of our very own musical church. And we can't fail to mention that we have especially enjoyed the beautiful music you have brought forth from our talented congregation, our non-choir Sundays, and in the summer, cellists, violinists, oboists, guitarists, drummers, fiddlers, bell ringers, viriditas, and the like. Thank you for all of this, Heidi. And thank you for organizing choir retreats, summer sings, and collaborations with other choirs. We are sure that if we were able to be in church with you on our last Sunday, you would be celebrated with at least a 20-minute standing ovation, at least 500 hugs, and probably 5 or more cakes at a gigantic reception. But we will nevertheless celebrate you with a joyous drive-by parade. We will miss you terribly, Heidi. You have brought out the best in us with your beautiful smile, and we have sung our hearts out for you as you have challenged us and encouraged us. We know we speak for all of the choir when we say thank you once again. We all love you and wish the best for you in the days to come. And so, dear Heidi, may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of God's hand. From Nancy White and Ken Johnson. Because Heidi was our music director, we learned that one person can open our ears and minds to a wide range of musical delights within a worship setting. We had fun doing African-centered pieces with the drumming group. We are thankful for Heidi's years of faithful service and her care in being part of a team that created worship where everything fit together. Those times left us breathless. We will always be grateful for the many gifts of love that Heidi has given to us and to the church. We commit to continuing to be in relationship with her and with her family.
This is for Heidi. It only took me approximately 16 years to get her to sing with me. Heidi, thank you. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. You are our sunshine, we think you're divine. We wish you happiness galore. We'll keep on singing and making music. Oh, dearest Heidi, your sweet spirit we adore. You are our sunshine, our lovely sunshine. You make us happy when skies are gray. We hope you know, dear, how much we love you. You can't be gone, 'cause in our hearts you'll always stay.
Because Heidi was our music director, I learned that having a powerful voice was a good thing, and not something to be embarrassed about or to be hidden away. There was a place for it. I wonder about damn near everything. That's a big question, and I'm working on Heidi's specific answers for it. I wonder how your life in the church is going to be and how it will look, and when we'll both see each other again. I wonder how Felix will navigate everything he's going through, but I know that he'll have exactly the love and the support that he needs. I have no fears for him, because you and Owen are the parents he needs, and Oscar loves him. I had so much fun singing solo and quartet stuff. I was terrified to take on Bridge Over Troubled Water, but I was so grateful to find out that I could pull it off. I'm thankful for every minute you sat and listened to me, and we had the chance to talk together as friends. You're good people. I will always try and find a way to maintain the voice I've got. God alone knows when and where and how it will get used, but it needs to be used. And I commit to being the same kind of a friend to you that you've been to me. If you need a friend, that is.
Because Heidi was our music director, I will continue to look for wonderful variety in the music our church family listens to and sings. Thanks, Heidi.
For the last 27 or so years, the opportunity to sing out my faith in choir twice each week, Thursdays and Sundays, has refreshed my soul. My voice may be spent by the end of practice, but my heart is overflowing. For the last 10 years, Heidi Blythe, Director Extraordinaire, has been a pivotal piece of that experience. Some in the choir are confident believers in their musical abilities. Some, like me, may at times doubt their innate abilities, seeking desperately for the correct note. But whatever our skill set, Heidi has always warmly met us where we are. Heidi, you've been an incredible music director. You have inspired and challenged me with classical and contemporary pieces, both familiar and new. You have steadily held the performance bar high, coaxing and prodding me to expect more of myself. You have given generously of your time, offering supplemental rehearsals and creating parts files for at-home review. I have appreciated those. You obviously put a great deal of thought and effort into the development of a worship service, and I often leave reflecting on how all the pieces, scripture, sermon, music, work together in perfect harmony of theme and message. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you for your leadership and inspiration. Even after moving to Whidbey Island 2 years ago for full-time living, I never gave a second thought about making the twice-a-week trek to choir. It has been a privilege singing under your direction, and I wish you all the very best in the next chapter of your life. You will be missed, and I hope we see you around church and in choir. With love and admiration, Debbie Ehrlich.
Heidi, I want to thank you for helping me grow in more ways than you or I could measure. Today, I strive to explore and experiment in all kinds of art forms, and your musical leadership has made a welcoming space where I feel excited and encouraged to branch out. In fact, the very first time I ever performed electroacoustic music was at UCUCC in 2012. That single moment was the catalyst that pushed me to further expand my art practice to where it is now, discovering organic and digital realms new to me. Every time you've invited me to play in the service, I've tried to bring something completely new and different for you, the congregation, and for me to explore and grow. So thank you for inspiring me and creating a place where I can learn from you and the community and surprise myself with what is possible.
Our tribute to you. We just hope that it's going to convey how we feel, the joy and the fun that we've had with you. And
these last 10 years, right?
Oh my gosh.
11 years?
It's been so long, and we just want it to be a happy, fun send-off to you. So you might not know these songs. They're both kind of old.
But we know them.
But you might know them.
I'm sure you do. Here we go.
Okay, hit it.
Get it.
Hey, look me over, lend me an ear, fresh out of clover, mortgage up to here. But don't pass the plate, folks, don't pass the cup. We figure whenever you're down and out, the only way is up, and we'll be up like a rosebud high on the vine. Don't snub your nose, bud, take a tip from mine. I'm a little bit short of the elbow room, but let me get me some. And look out, world, here we come. And for our second selection, I'm looking over a four-leaf clover that I've overlooked before. One leaf is sunshine, the other is rain. Third are the roses that grow in the lane. There's no use explaining, the one remaining is somebody I adore. Heidi, play! We're looking over a four-leaf clover that we overlooked before. Yeah.
I wish I'd say the pronoun.
I was trying to make it we.
I know. Well, me too. I kept forgetting.
Are you ready?
Go on.
Heidi, this is the song Karen and I are going to do for you is a favorite of my folks. They grew up during the Depression and they really never knew kind of what was coming around the bend. And when my sister and I came along, this is a song that they used to sing in the car on our way to Montana when we would go to visit my relatives about every summer. So we thought it might have a little special significance for you now that you're about to retire and you don't really know what exactly is around the bend. So here we go. We ain't got a barrel of money, maybe we're ragged and funny, but we'll travel along, singing our song side by side. Oh, I don't know what's coming tomorrow, maybe it's trouble and sorrow, but we'll travel the road, sharing the load, side by side. Through all kind of weather, what if the sky should fall? Just as long as we're together, it really doesn't matter at all. When they've all had their quarrels and parted, we'll be the same as we started, just to travel along, singing a song, side by side.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Bye, Heidi.
I admire Heidi's dedication in all aspects of the church's mission. She has been an active participant in many of the groups besides music, living our promise to care for and pray for one another in trials of the Spirit and in times of joy. She has pursued her vision of uniting the congregation in music by introducing a variety of musical performance groups, as well as writing, adapting, finding meaningful music responses for all to share. I have appreciated her willingness and the willingness of other members of the staff to coordinate anthems and hymns to match the message of the week. This makes worship especially meaningful for many of us in the choir. She has dragged the chancel choir, kicking and screaming, into the 21st century. We might actually be willing to admit to enjoying some of the more current music, though my preference is still the classics I grew up with. She has walked a precarious tightrope, balancing church with its eclectic congregation and home. Heidi will be missed throughout the church as well as within the choir. Jackie Brandon. Jackie and Kelly Brandon, choir members since 1964.
Because Heidi was our musical director, I got to hear God's voice singing in a country twang and a rich classical chord and a rock and roll wail and a sway of women and a roll of percussion. Because Heidi was our musical director, we got to hear the heart songs of hundreds of people in the congregation whose requests were honored and scheduled. I learned so much from watching a leader who could share leadership and also lift up her own voice with grounded, sweet presence. This is the sound of all of us, singing together with a will to trust. Thank you, sweet, powerful Heidi. Blessings on your ongoing song. You left us with a better one.
Because Heidi was our music director, I learned and performed dozens of new anthems, some of which she commissioned. Because Heidi was our music director, I know she is a Christian musician. She loves God, the church, this church, and the members of her choir. Because Heidi was our music director, I had fun harmonizing this song she wrote, God in Me.
Godspeed, Heidi.